Hey, Craig, what is a woman? Isn't that like some kind of documentary thing? Well, let's see what Merriam-Webster has to say. An adult female person.
So many people can't answer that
But
question.
Cambridge, right. Cambridge is now changing the definition. It's coming up next on the show. Welcome to the Matt Logan Show. Should we do What is a Man?
Yeah.
A small open-sided bus or light truck used to transport passengers or goods in West Africa. Oh, wait, no, that's a mammy wagon. An adult male human. It was right next to it. I had to do that. But the point being, that's how ridiculous this has become. Mm-hmm. The Cambridge Dictionary, if we could get this up on the screen, the Cambridge Dictionary changes definition of man and woman.
They append it. They add to it. But, yes.
Okay. It's kind of splitting hairs, Craig.
Well, yes, I would agree. But just to be...
Right. So, I mean, look, people are freaking out about it on both sides of the aisle, saying, what does it matter? What does it matter? The other side saying, it matters, blah, 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 right?
Wokeness.
And here you were like, wait a minute, why are you pulling that up? Let's go ahead and put this up on the screen too.
That's exactly what I said. What
What
does this have
is
to do with
this
anything?
nonsense? Jesus could have been transgender, claims Cambridge dean. The dean of Trinity College said such a view was legitimate after a row over a sermon by a student that claimed Christ had a trans body. I read this a bunch of articles on this back when that came out, and it's disgusting, quite frankly, that they would take a person in history, religious or not, whatever you want to say about Jesus, we know historically he existed. There's all kinds of historic documents, not just the Bible. Mm-hmm. All kinds of them. He was a person.
Yep.
He was a teacher. Whatever you want to say. Set the whole religious part of it aside.
Okay.
Completely.
Yep.
How can you... That's like saying, that's like... Okay, I've seen in Florence, Italy, the statue of the Wiener statue...
With olive leaves put over the front now?
No, I don't know. The wiener was sticking out.
Okay.
You know which one the famous one I'm talking about by Michael or
David?
Yeah, David. By Michelangelo, was that the one?
Yeah.
I've been there, seen it. Not impressive.
Must have been cold that day.
But anyway, I digress. That is like saying that they made it up and he's actually trans. That's like taking a person in history and changing it just to fit your narrative.
Agreed.
It's not right. Whoever it is.
George Washington must have been a woman because he wore a wig. Out of
Precisely.
context, because every politician back then, and some still do in England,
Right.
they wear wigs. It's part of the tradition.
And so it's just to change definitions and to think that anybody has the right to change history, that anybody... By the way, if anybody's curious about the whole Jesus trans body thing, look it up, read about it. It's unbelievable. There's zero research done. And you know how, if you really shake it out and you get to the bottom of it, you know what the answer is?
No.
They saw it in a painting and he doesn't have a wiener in the painting.
Maybe the painting was censored.
Clearly. It's the dumbest reasoning that anybody could ever say. Mm-hmm. An artist rendering of someone who they never met, and now all of a sudden Jesus had it was trans. It's just like them trying to change this dictionary thing and trying to change the definition of things of nonsensical things. If you become an adult and you want to do whatever it is to your body that you want to say is legitimate and right, whatever, go for it. Don't use taxpayer dollars to do it. Don't groom kids and have drag shows and there's 6 and 7-year-olds in it, and don't say that this man athlete that couldn't go anywhere in men's swimming, he suddenly became trans, and all of a sudden he's top of the woman's category. This is enough.
Just because you cut the berries off of a boy dog doesn't make it a girl dog. It's still a boy dog.
By the way, he didn't get his berries cut off. I've seen pictures.
Speedos are revealing.
So anyway, I am saying publicly, no more. This is nonsense.
It is.
If you're an adult and you want to be gay or trans or lesbian or whatever the alphabet people are, and whatever alphabet they want to come up with or whatever, go for it. No problem.
You be you.
That's right. But don't try and aggressively, forcefully, screamingly try to change history and change definitions of things that are biologically not true.
I would agree with that. You live your life the way you want to live it without hurting other people.
Yep.
That's fine.
Yep.
I don't have a problem with that. It doesn't affect me.
There's a lot of things that I've done I don't agree with. I mean,
well, that's true.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't have to agree with you, and that's what you want to do, but I'm not going to say that you can't either. Mm-hmm. There's a huge difference.
Yeah.
But what you can't do is you can't mess with little kids. Any kids.
Don't push any sex on children.
Period.
Straight, gay, what? A kindergartner should not be exposed to that stuff.
No.
When I was in probably 5th grade, they separated the boys, the biological boys, and the biological girls, and they had the conversations. And yep, that was a long time ago, and things were different now.
And they shouldn't have done that, frankly, in my opinion, because that is not the job of the state. Mm-hmm. So we talked about Russia recently, motherland and fatherland. Did you see? The video?
Yes.
I mean,
was pretty funny.
It is funny, but it's not funny at the same time, because here's the thing with that is when they have these. All right. So when they have these narratives that they're trying to push and portray, the state should not come in and start doing that, no matter what it is with kids.
Let kids be kids.
No, right. They need to teach kids, accurate history. They need to teach kids some math, some economics, how to balance your checkbook, what taxes are, where they go. They don't need to be doing the stuff they're doing with kids.
They don't need to sexualize children.
None at all. And
so here's...
And I'm not going to even... I looked up... When you sent this to me, I looked up a whole bunch of the opposite side of this. What the trans community would say the negative side of this, right? Okay. And there are unbelievable high numbers of suicide.
We've talked about that before.
Yes. There's unbelievable numbers of detransitioning. Mm-hmm. And there's unbelievable testimonies of young teenagers, now 19, 20, 21, that are coming out and saying they totally swindled us. This community totally swindled us. Totally said we've done things that are irreversible. Men and women never going to have kids now.
The hormone therapy absolutely corrupts the body.
Yes.
And do I believe that there are people that were born that feel that they should legitimately be the opposite sex? Yeah, I do agree that there is a very small percentage of people that truly believe that. But I also believe that there are a lot of people...
But belief is something, that's a trick. Belief is tricky. Belief is really tricky.
It is. I agree.
And that's a good word. I'm not saying that's a bad word, but belief is tricky. Because belief doesn't make it factually correct.
Agreed.
My belief is all of it can't factually be. I can't bring you evidence. I can bring you some evidence. I can bring you all kinds of historical documents that Jesus existed as a person, that he was put on a cross with nails. All of those things are true historically, but I can't prove that he is the Son of God in irrefutable evidence. There's a belief there. Right?
Yep.
And so that is why this is a belief system. What they're pushing is a belief system, but they're denying that it's a belief system. You see what I'm saying?
If they deny it's a belief system, what do they believe in? What do they think it is? Just science?
Yes, they really think that it's science. They really think that, okay, I'm a man in a woman's body, or vice versa. But the fact is they just believe that.
Right.
It's not factually, scientifically true.
I would agree with that.
And if science changes,
proven otherwise, I would agree with that.
Right. If science changes and they figure out legitimately that some of this stuff exists, okay, but there's no evidence of it.
Well, and where I was going was, I
interrupted you.
No, that's
I
fine.
do apologize.
I think that there are people, and I don't have a problem with it, that truly believe that they were born in the wrong body.
I don't disagree with that.
But I also believe that a lot of, and I'm going to get slack for this, but I personally believe that a lot of people are doing this, whether they think it is because it's a trend or not. But I think a lot of people are doing this because it's a trend, because it's out there, and it's the thing to do right now. And I'm not going to apologize, because that's how I feel about it. It's from personal experiences and family members and distant family members and lots of conversations. And I know, and I've been exposed to this since I was a kid of the LGBTQ community. So this is anything that I'm scared of or frightened about or disagree with. You be you, that's fine. But I think for a large portion of the trans community, unfortunately, I believe they're doing it because it's a trend. And the problem
100%.
with that is when it's happening with young adults, not even young adults, children and young teenagers, and they're getting that hormone therapy to transition to the opposite sex before they're
which doesn't actually work.
No, before they're developed, it's not reversible.
No.
There's issues with reproduction, like no opportunity to reproduce if they transition. And the videos I've even seen this week of, only women can give birth to women or to babies. Well, what about women that transition to men? Biologically, they're still a woman.
Right.
Yes, men can give birth, transgender men, but biologically, they're still a woman.
Exactly.
So you can't say it's a man that's giving birth.
Yeah.
Quit fooling yourself.
Yeah.
You be you. You do your thing. That's fine. But be honest about it.
Yes. That I agree. Be honest about it. That's the thing for me too, is like, they're not honest. They're not. No. Not only are they not honest with themselves, they're completely dishonest and using all the propaganda that they can to convince other people in the world.
Everybody else in the world.
And you know why? Because they're not convinced themselves.
I think that's a pretty fair observation.
They're just not convinced themselves. There's proof that, and this is a conversation, so, people are going, well, show me the proof. It doesn't take much to Google it.
Science.
That people in this community, the LGBTQ plus community, that they are more suicidal. There's more suicides. That's just a fact.
Scientific fact.
It's just a fact.
Yep.
There is also fact of the people who regret transitioning is super high. Mm-hmm. It's extremely high in the trans specific. It's also extremely, the percentage is extremely high in the LGBTQ community plus community. Sorry, I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm really not. There's massive amounts of percentage and proof that they have some mental issues that they struggle and deal with. It's super high, higher than any other specific community in existence. Those are all true. And so, so that leads me to believe, looking at the evidence, that they're not convinced themselves. So that's why they try so hard to convince everybody else.
So now I was hung out to dry on those statements of it being a mental issue. When I ran for public office a few years ago, I was hung out to dry because I just restated the government's, the military's reasoning for not allowing transgenders in the military.
Sure.
Because of the concerns of mental issues. It's not.
It's
I
proven.
didn't say that that's what I believe.
I mean,
I was just restating the fact that this is the government's stance.
The thing that I'll always get back to with everybody is this. The fact is my daughter died in a car crash due to her injuries in a car crash. She didn't die in the crash. Died 5 hours later. That is a fact. Mm-hmm. That's not reversible. Mm-hmm. And I know all kinds of people who have had similar situations. They've lost a child or someone very close to them that don't accept that fact, that reality. Mm-hmm. And it destroys them and everyone around them because they have a mental issue that they haven't dealt with. Period. Now, I can say that because I've dealt with this for 10 years.
Right.
And I know people from when that happened in my world at that moment, and I know them today, and they're not in a different place today than they were 10 years ago.
We haven't dealt with it.
And so I'm not saying this loosely. I'm not saying this as trying to be mean to somebody or a community. These are facts that have been studied. And yes, do you, but be honest about it. Mm-hmm. And all these people, on all the different social media platforms and whatever else that they're trying to do, and they're trying to convince the world of look at the energy guy, I mean, and I'm not going to go into it, but you can look everywhere you turn. You can look at these things and that there's some mental hang-ups.
Everybody has some kind of mental
Yes,
issues,
absolutely. 100%.
Yep.
100%.
But to deny that there's some type of mental issue in some of these agendas, lifestyles.
It is a lifestyle.
It's a disservice to yourself and to other people.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a huge disservice to yourself. I mean, there's people that I know, and I've known for some of them for probably 15 plus years, some of them 8, 9, 6 years, a couple of them that are gay and lesbian, and you'd never know.
It doesn't matter.
Exactly. And that's the point.
Yeah. I literally grew up around multiple lesbian couples from childhood on.
I can tell.
The hair. and I have a very close family member that she's married to her wife, and I love them both. I have no problems with their lifestyle. I don't care. They found love and they're happy. I have no qualms about that. I don't have a single issue with that. I'm happy that they're happy together. I've joked about it before. They found the loophole in God's system of how to not have to put up with the opposite sex's crap. And it's from a comedian. Sure. It's a joke.
Yeah.
But I think it's a very funny joke of they found the loophole to not have to put up with men and vice versa. I don't have an issue with the lifestyle at all. What I have an issue with is when you push it on children. Or anybody else. I don't push heterosexuality on people either.
Here's the thing, what if let's talk about S&M, Craig.
Saturday Night Live?
S&M.
Oh, and, not N. Okay.
Yeah, not S. Yeah. Right. What if schools were teaching S&M?
Might raise some red flags.
Might raise a lot of them. Better.
Yeah.
And what if people in public were doing that kind of stuff like they do in drag shows and like they do in some of the other trans things that they're, what if that would never fly?
You haven't been to the bars lately, have you?
It's true, I haven't.
I was out a few weeks ago and I saw a dog collar and a leash. We kind of giggled, but whatever. Teach their
Halloween?
Own. No, it wasn't Halloween. It was a rock concert.
Well, there you
Teach
go.
Their own. Whatever.
But you understand the point. That's not a normal thing, and society as a whole would never accept that in the places that some of these things are being taught. That it's just plain and simple wouldn't be. And so that's the whole point. Even though that's the S&M, if it was between a man and a woman, that would never be taught, never be allowed in public. Even the covered up stuff, I'm saying, like not complete nudity of any kind, but just that idea, and that would never, ever, ever.
A picture of a couple walking into a school in leather with collars and gag balls would never, ever fly.
Never.
Don't sexualize our children.
Exactly.
Period.
That is my 100% point.
And I'll get blasted for this. Well, having a cross-dresser or a transgender reading books to children is not sexualization. How is it not?
Yeah. It
My
totally
opinion.
is.
I'm sorry.
It totally is. It's
and maybe I'm the pervert because I think it's sexualization. Well, so be
when
it.
you're when you're dressed like that, and I've seen videos and all kinds of different things. So no one for a second is going to say that it's not sexualization. And again,
I agree. I disagree with that.
They're lying.
There's a lot of people say that it's not sexualization.
I know but they're lying to themselves. Is my point. If they're saying that, you are lying to yourself.
Okay. Glad you clarified that.
Period. I know there are people that do say that.
Mm-hmm.
The people who are saying that are lying to themselves and to everybody else. That's all I got. And there's no hate.
Well, there's going to be a lot of hate from this
Well,
episode.
there are other people.
There's going to be a lot of hate from
There's no
coming
hate from
to
me.
this episode. No, absolutely
But
not.
I couldn't, my bookshelf over there. I probably have, I don't know, 8 or 9 Bibles minimum on that bookshelf, right? What if I brought a Bible in and I'm going to read a Bible to the kids? Never would be allowed to do that.
No, you'd be lambasted.
And that's the point. And that's Anyway.
Yep.
It's up to the parents.
Let the parents talk to their kids about
and
that.
And if you're a parent that thinks that these drag shows for 7, 6, 5-year-olds are okay, let's talk.
To me, it's not even the fact that it's a drag show. Any sexualization to children. No sexualization
No,
of
and
children
that's
should be
the point.
normalized.
But they're
period.
allowing that type of sexualization, and they would never allow any other, and they shouldn't.
Right.
But they are allowing that.
And where's it going to lead to? I mean, you see some of the stuff that's coming out in California.
We didn't
trying to
air
legalize
air a podcast because of some just people that it's for personal reasons, but people were a little concerned that surround me.
Okay.
Not concerned for me, they're concerned for them.
Oh, okay.
And I think you know which one I'm talking about.
We'll talk off air. I'm not sure, but
yeah. And so I said in that, and I want to say here, I have zero hate for anybody. I've said, other people are my mission field in different areas, and so that is my heart. Is that I would be fine with talking with any of them and give me your why. Why is this okay? I totally do that with anybody.
I'd love to hear
I'd
love to hear the justification.
Good faith conversations, solution-driven conversations is literally like the motto on a bunch of my social media platforms. That's really what I'm interested in.
Open,
good faith conversations. Solution-driven conversations.
Yep. And it doesn't mean you have to agree on things.
No, exactly, and that's what everybody thinks.
But have the conversation.
Yeah.
Even if it's offline, have the conversation.
Yeah. So anyway,
it's an opportunity to educate somebody on your own beliefs.
You can hate me at AskMatt at MattLoganSpeaks.com. Welcome to the Matt Logan Show.